welcome to Casting On. We are going to learn how to cast on. What's casting on, you might be asking? Casting on is how you get your yarn and your needle. It's your first set of stitches, but this one here, although that's not how you do it. So I'm going to teach you my technique that I learned out of a book a long time ago. But for as many knitters as there are out there, you're going to find just as many, if not more, cast on methods. Everybody has their own way of doing it, and whatever makes you comfortable, whatever you're able to catch on and get the yarn on the needle with, that's the way you should do it. If my method isn't going to work for you, totally ask somebody else who knows how to do it a different way. What I'll do is I'll do under my favorites on my channel a listing of other YouTubers who have also put on their channel how to cast on, so that you won't only just learn mine, but if you want to learn a different method or try something else out, then you'll have options. Let's get started. You're going to need your ball of yarn and one needle. So hold tight because I have to adjust the camera so you can see better, and I hope you don't get motion sickness. Ready? Here we go. Scoochie there, and this is my knitting corner in my kids' playroom, and I'm still learning how to use my tripod, so once again, I hope you don't get motion sick. I'm going to do it on the floor here, just because I would normally be doing it in my lap, and I'm not really quite sure how to show you other than doing it on the floor. So hopefully that's good. Probably crooked for you though, huh? We're going to go with it. And I will do my best. And if it's not good enough for you, why, you go right ahead and leave me a comment. I hope it's nice. Okay, so, gosh, now I forget. Let me look again. Okay. So what you're going to do, you only need one needle. You put the other one aside so as not to confuse yourself. And you're going to use your yarn and the technique that I learned out of a book. I kind of altered it just so that I could remember how to do it. Oh, before you even do it, you want to make sure you know how many stitches to cast on your needle. In this situation, for project 1, if you're following along on my channel, we're making a very simple, quick and easy dishcloth. So we're going to put on 46 cast on stitches. And how do you know how much yarn to use? In general, you want to use as many inches as there are stitches cast on. Now, you might end up with extra yarn at the very end, but that's fine. It can be cut, it can be woven in. It's better to have extra at the end than to have less. So I'm just going to eyeball 46 inches, and that's what we're going to use to cast on. Now, what I do, this is the very tail end of the yarn, and this is the ball end. And what I do is I cross the tail end over the ball end, and I make like a Jesus fish. So this is kind of morbid, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but this is the way I remembered it when I was first learning. I love fish, I love Jesus, and so I hope anyone watching doesn't totally get offended. But I take my one needle after I've made a fish, keeping my tail end on top of my ball end, and I poke the fish in the eye. Sorry, fishies. Anyway, poke the fish's belly or in the eye, whatever. Drag your needle back under the fish's back, actually, picking up the top piece of yarn, the tail, and pulling it back through the fish's body. And what you're doing, you're also going to grab both the tail of the yarn and the ball of the yarn. Hold them and pull your needle. What you're doing is actually creating a slip knot. If you know of another way to create a slip knot that's maybe not so morbid and, oh, there's my hair in the yarn. Sorry about that. That's maybe not so morbid, then by all means, get yourself a slip knot, put it on your needle. I'm just going to go over it one more time in case anyone wants to see my crazy fish. Fish. I've got the tail end of the yarn on the top, crossing over top of the ball end of the yarn. Poke the fish in the eye or in the belly, somewhere inside the fish. Drag the tip of the needle under the back of the fish and on top of the tail, pulling through the body of the fish. Grab the top tail and the bottom tail and pull your needle. Then just grab the top of the tail and slide the knot up. And there you have a slip knot. There's probably tons of other ways out there to make a slip knot, and maybe in the future I will figure out one that's not so morbid. Okay, so you have your very first cast on stitch. Your yarn is on your needle. Congratulations! So now what we're going to do is I'm going to hold, this is always going to be the ball end of the yarn because that's where the ball is, and this is always going to be the tail end of the yarn because that's the tail of the yarn. I'm going to hold the needle in my right hand along with the yarn and the ball end, and I'm going to use my middle finger and my thumb finger, or my tall man, I call this finger the tall man with my kids. Tall man and the thumb, and I'm going to hold the yarn. I'm going to slide my fingers down the yarn, and with my pointer finger, I'm going to catch it. Just slide, catch. Then I'm going to take the tip of my needle to the bottom of my left pointer finger, and I'm going to slide it to the top, creating a loop right here. And after I have my loop, I'm going to switch hands, putting the needle in my left hand and keeping a hold of the ball end of the yarn. Wrap it around from the back to the front. Switch the needle back. Oh, I dropped it! Switch the needle back to my right hand. Try not to drop it. Throw the loop over the top of the needle, drop it, and pull tight. Not too tight because you are eventually going to use these cast on stitches as a foundation to knit into the next row. Here we go again. We have 2 cast on. The needle is in my right hand, and I'm going to use my pointer and my thumb and slide down the yarn. Catch it with, I'm sorry, that's not my pointer, that's my middle finger. Middle finger and thumb, slide down the yarn. Catch it with my pointer finger. Take the point of the needle, slide it to the top of my pointer finger, making a loop. Switch needles from my right hand to my left hand, and now with my right hand holding the ball yarn, wrap around the back, switch hands again, throw the loop over, drop the loop, and pull. Now we have 3 cast on stitches. I'm going to do it without talking, slowly. I don't know if my talking makes it easier or harder. If I were really witty, I could come up with some sort of poem to help you remember this, but I'm not because it's late, and generally I'm not witty anyway. If I was really hip, I'd be able to rap. Some sort of rap would be great. Help you learn this. I'm not a rapper, nor am I hip. So I'm just going to do it a few times. Ooh, see, I did it too tight. I'm going to loosen it. I might have to pull out. No? There we go. So there you have it. That's the technique I used to cast on. Once you learn how to do this, you're going to get quicker at it. I'm trying really hard to go slow here. I generally am much quicker, but I want to teach you, so I'm going to try and go slower. I think I'm doing it tight and loosen it up. This is generally what it looks like when I'm doing it, but this isn't generally I'm teaching. Also, just notice how once your stitches get closer to the point of the needle, you want to slide them down because the point of the needle is actually a different gauge. The shaft of the needle is, in fact, a US 8 5mm. But the point of the needle is getting smaller. If you do stitches here, your stitches are going to be tighter. It's going to make it more difficult to stitch stitch into it the next row. So slide your stitches down so that your work isn't happening on the point, and also that you have room for more stitches. So I'm going to do it a few more times, and I want you to make sure if you're following along with project number 1, you're doing quick and easy dishcloth with me, you're going to want to make sure you do this 46 times so that you have 46 stitches on your needle. And this is really easy. You probably know this is probably self-explanatory, but this is how you'll know you have 46 stitches. You want to count each one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I've done 11. That means I have quite a few more to go until I get to 46. So this is the method that I use, and like I said, if this method isn't working for you, don't fret, because every knitter has a different method. And what I'm going to do on my channel is I'm going to just scroll through YouTube, and you can of course do that too, but just to make it a little bit more easier for you, I'm going to post some on my favorites. I better slow down. So that you have other options. Mine is definitely not the only one out there. It's not the best one out there. The best one out there is the one that's going to make the most sense to you. So there you have it. Maybe, am I looking for new cast on methods? Post on my channel, maybe I will learn a new one as well. So there you go. That's what it's going to look like. And I hope that helped. I'm not going to give you motion sickness. I'm not going to adjust the camera again. So happy casting on. Leave comments below whether you like my cast on technique, whether you don't like my cast on technique, whether you're totally annoyed that I won't fix the camera and look at you squarely and die. Anyway, hope you're having a great night. Take care. Bye.